Yo, all the multiplicity followers and fans out there, we got a very, very special episode for y'all today. If you follow the channel, you know me and P from Only Haters. You know Bryce and Tariq from the hoodie and the headband. We got a collab today. Call it what you want to call it. Call it the hater and the headband. Call it the hoodie and the hater. I don't care. But just know it's about to be a valid podcast because if you follow the page, you saw our list yesterday. We did our top 25 NBA players under 25. So, of course, we got to make a video to talk about it. Some of us had some different rankings on certain players. It's going to be fun to chop up in podcast format. We still want you to read the article, though. So don't think if you listen to the pod, you can just skip out on the article. But, yeah, we're going to get into it, and we're going to do 25 through 14 today. But before we do that, obviously, 3 guests with me today. They all beast in the content world. They all special. They all got their strengths. Who wants to go first and introduce themselves, man?
Hold on. I'll say, go ahead, Bryce. You looking kind of.
Yeah, Bryce look like he ready.
I'll go ahead, man. I'll go ahead. But I am Bryce, one half of the hoodie and the headband. Headband beat up. I just repeated myself. I try to split it up, because sometimes I'm headband, sometimes I'm beat up.
Hey, he a man of many nicknames.
So, I mean, yeah, busy B, whatever you want to call me. But you can't call me broke. You can't say my jump shot broke. But what? Oh no, though, man. Like I said, one half of the headband, contributor at Multiplicity Media. One of the 4 minds behind this list, behind this project. So, yeah, looking forward to discussing this with my boys today, man. Should be fun. Hey, if you're listening to this, pull up the article and follow along. Just follow along name by name.
I know somebody watching can't read, and that's okay. That's why we got the visuals. But leading straight into that, I'm just going to go ahead and say, I'm P, a.k.a. Pierre, a.k.a. P-Dub. I'm just playing. Nobody call me P-Dub. But but it's just me, man. So I'm doing good. I am one half of Only Haters, and I am a Cat Crave journalist, a Twitter/X enthusiast. And you know what I'm saying? I'm just about to discuss this list with my guys, man. They're going to pass it to Big Reek over there.
Yeah, Tariq, Hoodie Q-Sip. That's what they call me. Not everybody. Only specific people call me that. But yeah, like they said, contribute at Multiplicity. I write. I do this podcast, Hoodie and the Headband with Bryce. Obviously, I'm Hoodie. He's the headband, even though he's not wearing a headband. I'm not currently wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. But it is what it is. You know how we do. But ready to get to this. Get to discussing.
Facts. We with the sweatshirt and the fitted today, not the hoodie and the headband.
Fitted today.
But all right, so we're gonna get straight into it. So I will preface this: some of these dudes you probably gonna listen to or read, and you're gonna be like, "Damn, that's kind of low." All right, we made the list like right before the season started. So if you see a guy too low, give us a little bit of slack because we didn't get to see some of these dudes hoop first. We was going purely off of preseason hoops. And to preface this, we did not include rookies. Before y'all get in here.
Yeah. And a part of me wishes because Chet definitely would have been.
Man,
Chet might have been.
Yeah.
They gotta show me something.
It would have been interesting with rookies, but we just couldn't do it, man, because they're not proven yet, so it's a little unfair to include them. But next year we're gonna come back and y'all gonna see how we rank them. But at 25, we have a teammate of one of those rookies that was not included on this list, Devin Vassell of the Spurs. The highest rank he got was 25. 1 or 2 people had him in honorable mention. So I'm gonna throw it to Tariq. I feel like Tariq likes Devin Vassell for some reason. That's just what my mind is telling me. So Tariq, what is your argument for Devin Vassell being 25th?
For some reason on the list, I put him at honorable mention under Jordan Poole. That was crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're gonna talk about some me.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You too?
But what?
I said you want to talk about some. Because when he said some guys had him as honorable mention, you said Bryce, and I'm looking like, yeah, you too.
Bryce, I said couldn't be me or something like that, but obviously it could be me. I think I just moved the names up once I realized certain players like Brandon Ingram couldn't be in the list, so I just moved certain players up without looking at the bottom. For Devin Vassell, I think obviously he's crazy efficient in the mid range. His 3-point shooting has gotten better every year. He's become a primary/secondary scorer for the Spurs this year. He missed a lot of time last year, so I feel like he could have been higher on this list if he didn't play. I think he played like 38 games or something like that last year. But yeah, I think he's got the chance. He's got the potential to be, I would say, like a fringe all-star. Like if the Spurs are really good, he'll be that second all-star, depending on how Keldon is playing that season. Because they're not super similar, but they both have pretty good numbers. So they'd have to be crazy good for three of them to get in. Obviously, Wemby would get in if they're really good because he'll be the main guy. But I think as time goes on, Vassell will prove himself as that go-to guy, especially in closing situations. Late fourth quarter, like Wemby is not going to be having the ball with 2 minutes left. He's going to be like the Chris Middleton to his Giannis or something like that. So I think Vassell brings a lot to the table, and I think as time goes on, he'll continue to prove himself on both sides of the basketball.
Yeah, I like that. I think the Middleton comparison makes a lot of sense because we've never seen Vassell play with a playmaker. Like realistically, he's never played with a real playmaker. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how he pans out because obviously he's got Wemby now. They're building around Keldon's a good player. Like Sohan's good at some things. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. But yeah, anyone got any lasting thoughts before we move on to 24?
The boy Knight.
Nah, not at all. I'm just playing. I was about to say, like, he gets better every year that he's been playing, and it shows every time he's on the court. And we also made this list. I feel like it's important for people to know at home by projection. So, his projection is fairly reasonably high for him. So I feel like 25 a good spot.
Yeah, sure. I agree. All right. Now, number 24 is interesting. It's that guy, Alperen Şengün. Highest rank he got was 24. I don't remember if I ranked him 25th or honorable mention, to be honest with you, but I want to say one or two people had him honorable mention. I think I might have had him honorable mention.
I did as well.
I had him honorable mention.
Me and Bryce have 24.
Me and Reek voted for him, and P had honorable mention as well.
So Bryce, I will let you go then because I don't want me and P's hateful bias towards Al P to show, but speak a little bit on Al P because he kind of like the guy they running sets through right now.
Yeah. So whenever I watch the Rockets, I see that he's the main one, playing well and just playing up to par and just playing up. I mean, you got a lot of bigs in the league that, like, I would say maybe 3 of the top 5 players in the league are bigs. And so for him to like playing well against those bigs and just playing well on a nightly basis and being one of the best young players that they have on that team, even with them not having the structure that they didn't have for the last couple of seasons, he's still been like a high point, like something like he's shown promise that he can be a part of something special for the Houston Rockets. I think now that they have a better coach in Ime and they have some guys around that can build some type of culture there, build some type of something there, rather than just having all these young guys play aimlessly every other night. Şengün could be part of something special, man. So I think that's why we have him on the list. And I think he's a future All-Star.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, P, you're the other honorable mention guy. So what makes you leave Al P like on the outskirts of this list?
Honestly, a part of it was glazing on my part because I did have AR-15 on that hoe. He could have easily made my top 25, but I feel like I would like him better if he was in a different, scenario. But he showcased a lot last year. He really did. And obviously, projection wise, I feel like he can be all-star. He definitely passes the ball well. He's a good rebounder. He can score when he needs to score. And I don't know. I feel like the team gonna hold him down. That's why he's honorable mention compared to these other guys on the list. For me personally.
Yeah. That's kind of what it is for me too. Like, this is probably getting real picky compared to some of these guys, but like, I would like to see the foot speed get a little quicker defensively.
Yeah.
It's just tough, man. Like, especially because I think they're trying to slightly mimic what the Nuggets do with Jokic, and obviously he's not as good as Jokic, and obviously the Rockets core is not as good as the Nuggets, but it's a similar concept, and I need to see that he's good enough to be the guy they run sets through, and it actually lead to winning basketball. But yeah, I mean, he's having a great year, so I'm probably an idiot for putting him in honorable mention. P, I'm gonna let you take this one because this is, I think, the only player on the list, with the exception of the top two, I believe, that we were all consensus on. And that is number 23, Desmond Bane, the weirdest build in the NBA. We all put him at 23. So P, I mean, you were giving some strong words about the Grizzlies being jaw made. So make your Desmond Bane at 23 case.
Hey, honestly, I still think they jaw made, and it's definitely showing each and every game out. But shout out Desmond Bane because he's the only scorer on the team right now. He's holding his own. He's doing his thing. I like Desmond Bane, and he got a fat bag. He already got his max contract. But once again, how I stated about Tyrese Maxey, I might feel like Brett hit his peak already. That's me personally, but I think Desmond Bane might have touched his peak already. That's why I put him at 23. I don't know how y'all feeling, but I think that's where I'm at.
Ooh,
Tariq, you kind of got a
Tariq
face.
looked like he got some thoughts on that one.
Talk to me, Tariq.
I don't know about that one, man. He's improved every year. I don't see how you can look and see, like, because it's not like he's only doing, spot up shooting or anything like that. Like, every year he's added something to his game. Everything looks a little funky because of his body frame and everything, but he's been crazy efficient from the floor and from the 3-point line. And his size kind of hinders him, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play when Ja comes back because they're playing 3 guards really. Obviously you have Marcus Smart, so they might be able to figure it out. He might guard the wings or something, but on the offensive side, I feel like Desmond Bane, he's continued to improve every year, and I think as time goes on, and especially once Ja comes back, he's that perfect sidekick, that perfect second scorer to him, because people were expecting Jaren Jackson Jr. to be that. It don't look like he's really going to be that. But if you can have Jaren Jackson Jr. as your third scorer and Desmond Bane as your for sure second scorer, I think that's when, things start to come together and the Grizzlies, start to take that leap that everybody's expecting them to take eventually. But Ja got to stay on the court.
Let me ask you something, Tariq, though. Let me ask you something. So, obviously you said a great sidekick. So where do you see his future numbers being? Because this list is about projection. I want to say this again because the YouTube comments be cooking. They be trying to nitpick and be on our ass. Shout out to JK and the Falcons fans, but
I hate him.
Where do you see his numbers ending up at for him to be that second guy at all times besides Ja?
All right, so last year he averaged 21 and a half. This year he's averaging 24 on 46-34 splits, which is worse than this past couple of years, but he's taking on a new role for at least the first 25 games. And I feel like since he's next to Ja's probably a 30-point scorer for the next 4 to 5 years at least. He'll probably be in that. He's like in that Jaylen Brown frame of like 23 to 26. I think he'll be in that route. But if he can do anything with like secondary playmaking, that'll push him up even more, and that'll give him the looks because he's going to be battling with Jaren Jackson Jr. for their second All-Star for the next 5 or 6 years, however long this core stays together. So I feel like if he can continue to add to the scoring instead of just being like, all right, I can score, if he can add playmaking to it, because that's what they're missing right now, really, is somebody that can really put pressure on the defense. Like, yeah, he can go out and get his shots, but he's not putting any pressure on the defense and collapsing the defense in the paint. And that's what Ja does better than almost anybody in the league. And obviously we're not asking Desmond Bane to do it at Ja's level, but if he can do that even a little bit, or off the pick and roll or anything in secondary actions, then that'll push him up even higher for me, honestly. Because I feel like looking at this list, he could be higher than some of these players on this list. Like some of the players that are ahead of him, he could be better than. Like,
that's ultimately one of the things that I looked at too when I looked at all these other players. And me and JK had him below Poole, but Poole, I feel like it's crazy in a sense, but Poole will always be that good stats, bad team dude, bro. So he'll just always look better.
But he was just on a good team, and we saw him be not exactly good stats.
So, I mean, that's a perfect transition. The Desmond Bane development will be interesting because, like, who truly will emerge as the second option? Because that's the issue right now is we don't really know who it is. But like P just said, we got Jordan Poole at 22. The highest rank he had was 21. I'm pretty sure that was by me, but I have good reasoning for that, and that is because we've seen Jordan Poole at his best and we've seen Jordan Poole at his worst, and the good version of Jordan Poole was a very key contributor to a title. So it's like there's that. And now, look, I can't blame the dude because, like, he'd probably be top 15 if he didn't get the sense punched out of him by Draymond Green. So, I mean, bro ain't been the same since that punch. That's all I'm going to say. But, no, I mean, Jordan Poole is the biggest wild card on this list because bro is either wildly inefficient, turnover prone, plays no defense at all, or he has games where he looks like he could be a team's best scorer. So it's like, it's really weird, and I'll be honest, I think the regret I have about putting him this high doesn't even stem from last season. It stems from, I thought bro's numbers would be straight, being the primary guy for the Wizards. Like, I thought he would be a good stats, bad team legend, and he just doesn't look like the same player he did 2 years ago. But the championship pedigree made me put him high.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list now. You had him at 22. I had him at 21. I had
was
him
close.
Yeah, I had him at 21. As you guys know on the pod, I'm a that boy nice type of guy. Like someone that can get buckets. I love that. The game is about getting buckets, as Bill Russell said.
Oh Lord,
It's about getting buckets. And
he
Jordan Poole knows how to get buckets. That
He does.
he know how to do. Know how to get him some buckets. And I too thought he was, like Jacob mentioned, I thought he would have, a good role and play well with the Wizards because he was on a team like the Warriors. He got that experience, playing under Steph and Clay, playing in that system. Thought it would have translated. I mean, it's still early on in the season, but it's not really looking promising. Like, I don't know if they make the playoffs. I don't know if he'll have like a good year or anything. You just don't know. Don't know.
This whole bottom list is a bunch of uncertainties, though, to be honest.
Oh, for sure, Ski.
So, like, I mean, outside of Bane, because Bane will always have that moment of playoff runs because he's playing beside Ja. And other than that, like, yeah, this whole bottom half of the list is a toss-up. Maybe Giddey, because I see him down here too. He'll be in the playoff runs a couple of times, but it's uncertainty. So I understand what y'all saying for sure.
It's weird, dude. Poole is, he's just so hard to judge, bro. Like, there's no other way to put it. Like for example, he had a bad year last year. But when Curry was out, he's the sole reason they stayed in the playoff race. So it's like, it doesn't make sense. Like, his inconsistent, I'll be honest, right now, from what I've seen, obviously, Wizards aren't necessarily a league pass dream, but I've watched a couple games and he literally just looks like he doesn't give a shit
at all.
Got his bag.
Bro, they were clowning. He threw an off the board oop while they was down 20.
I'm just go out here and get 30.
That's it.
They had the fast break.
They said it's because Ruby Rose is at the game. They did that.
He got his 3-point shot blocked off a fake hezzy. And Porzingis was just watching, like, please shoot that shit. And he shot it, and he sent that thing to them. I'm like, what are we doing? This is what I'm talking about.
Kuzma looks way better than Poole. That's what I will say.
After I talked on the show, like, this dude just out here just doing whatever because he feel like nobody can question him. And then he come out that same night and do that dunk. I'm like, come on, bro. You can't be serious.
Yeah,
shooting
I think.
24% from three, and he got 2 assists per game.
Ooh, yeah, that's
Come on.
rough.
Prime me wrong there. You cannot average 2 points a game and shoot 24% from three. When you're supposed to be shooting.
No, 2 assists is crazy.
That's terrible.
I think with a guy like that, the biggest issue is the immature. Like, he's already an immature guy, and he already has ego issues. When you put him around a championship team immediately and then send him to Washington, his mental game is already not great. And I think that was just the icing on the cake of him being like, nah, I don't care.
They had it reined in until Draymond punched him.
Yeah. Like, I'll be honest, bro. If Draymond didn't punch him, because I've said this, P said this, I do feel like Poole was scapegoated, because especially the reports coming out about Draymond refusing to meet with bro and apologize and talk like adults and shit, like whack. But if Draymond don't punch Jordan Poole, Chris Paul not on the Warriors right now.
Nope. It didn't help that bro was outperforming Clay or a bunch
exactly,
of
bro.
It doesn't help that he was outperforming him and then still didn't get to start. So you know how it is when you young and you like. I mean, even some podcasts like on Teague's podcast or whatever, you like. Even he said it when he was a young player. I forgot who he was sitting behind, but he was like, I should start over, bro. Like, I'm a bucket. Like, I get more buckets than him. So it kind of just builds up. And now they sent you somewhere to die. So he's like, fuck, I already got my money.
A part of that is realizing that it's not all about buckets. How many buckets are you giving up when you out there?
That's true.
Jordan Poole give up a lot of buckets when he's out there. And it's hard to hide him. You can hide him, but it's hard to hide a guard, especially in today's league with so many pick and rolls and switches and everything. Yeah. So if you're on a team and you're the main guy that's like not doing nothing on defense, like Iguodala said, like there's moments where you like, bro, you could have you had to try not to try.
Right.
And you can see that with Jordan Poole. Like you can see that he does not care enough to even try to try. Like it's really bad at sometimes.
Yeah, it's defense mostly comes down to effort, and he ain't got it. But yeah, we just spent. I think Jordan Poole's a guy that was worth spending a lot of time on, though, because he is an absolute wild card. So 21, I think this is pretty. I think this one's pretty accurate. He could maybe be a couple spots higher, but it's Josh Giddey from the Thunder. His highest rank was 19. His lowest rank was 21. I don't know who ranked him at 19. Whoever did, though, I would love to hear your take because,
hold on. I think his lowest was 22 and his highest was 20.
Possibly.
I had him the lowest at 22.
I had him at 20.
And Tariq had him at 20.
Yeah, y'all you had him at 20. Oh no, I had him at 19. I had him at 19.
Oh, you had him at okay.
Yeah, I had him at 19.
I had him at 20. Jacob got
I had him the lowest, unfortunately.
We're pretty close there, but Tariq, give your reasoning.
I just feel like I think he came in the league a lot better than most people thought. Like I feel like we forgot about the discourse around him when he came in the league. Like we had Dante Exum, Killian Hayes, and players like that. We were like, Josh Giddey not like that. He not about to be one of them ones. And I think the only thing that really slows him down is his lack of shooting. I think if he was a 34% shooter from three, he would be. I don't even think he would be a borderline all-star. Like I think he's that talented on the offensive end. And I think if he wasn't playing with Shea, it would give him like people would look at him like a lot differently. And now Chet is there. Now there's J-Dub. And it's just a lot of players around him that are also getting a lot of praise, which they should because they're all very talented players. But I feel like Giddey brings a lot to the table. And I feel like you won't really notice unless he's not there, like how good he really is. Because Shea is able to go out and go get you 30 and not have to worry about getting you 10 assists also because he got a guy that can get him 8, 9, 10 every night almost. And Chet don't got to worry about trying to play make. And J-Dub don't got to worry. Like, everybody can go out and play their roles because they have a guy like Josh Giddey on the team. And I feel like a team like the Rockets, like, if Şengün and Giddey were on the same team, both of those players would be, their ceilings would be a lot higher because of the type of players that they are and the way they understand the game. Like, Şengün is with a bunch of players that played a certain way their entire lives, and they ain't trying to change that. And even the guys they brought in, like, yeah, they brought in vets, but them vets are also thinking about themselves too. I think Giddey is in a really good spot, but I think he could be in an even better spot. Not saying that he should, want to like ask out or anything, because I think this is still a really good spot for him. But I think like the things that he can do on the offensive end are really good, but they're going to be overshadowed by how much talent is around him.
I want to tap in because I had him the lowest, and I want to say that same feeling. I feel like he's overshadowed because of where he is. So it was really hard to gauge where to put him as far as other guys like Franz, or because they really are the guys of their team. So the Bancheros and et cetera, stuff like that. But out of everybody on this list, Giddey, I think he's one of those ones that's gonna stay around because he is that good of a playmaker, and playmakers stay in the NBA because he's willing to play defense, he's willing to pass the ball, he's willing to be in a system. So I love him for that. I just wish he was more aggressive. That was the only reason why I had a knock on him. That was it.
He's in arguably the most unique situation in the league because the pieces around him benefit him in a way because he's such a cerebral passer. But on the other hand, we're not getting to see the full potential of Giddey. But he's still great. I think he's going to be a multiple-time All-Star. I think he could play. I think he's one of those guys that you can plug into any team in the league and he works. So I like Giddey a lot. The next one, I'm gonna pass to Bryce to let him talk about this one. But this is one of them ones I was talking about and prefacing in the intro. You can't blame us for having Scotty Barnes at 20, but after watching this dude through 5 games, living proof that you should not ever trust summer workout videos because bro was looking like a clown, and the man's averaging like I think 21, 10, and 6 on 52 and 43 splits. This dude is looking like the franchise player the Raptors needed him to be. So, Bryce.
Listen, man, I like Scotty, man. Shout out to Dev. Dev gonna go love this part, but I don't give Raptors much credit. But Scotty Barnes is
Barney Boy.
Oh, where I get there. Yes, Barney boys. But Scotty Barnes, I give credit to Scotty Barnes all day. His rookie season was phenomenal. I know he had a dip last season, so that's probably why he's a little low on this list at the moment. But he's looking like he back to that level again, man. He was in the gym. He's getting back to it, man. I like Scotty a lot. Love his attitude that he plays with. The tenacity, the aggressiveness. Like I remember when he came in as a rookie playing against that 7-11 net squad and did not care who was on that other team. He didn't care who was in black. He was going after them. And as a rookie in the league that early in your career, that takes a lot. Not many are cut from that cloth. So that's why I am on Scotty, man. He's 20 on this list right now, but I think he climbs up to like maybe top 15 on this list next year.
Yeah, we could even be looking, depending on what the Raptors. I'll be honest, bro. You got to trade Siakam. Give Scotty something better. Give Scotty an elite guard.
He needs shooters.
He does.
He needs shooters badly because that team is just so cluttered. And all your best players like to do the same thing. That doesn't work. You can't have 3 offenses on the court and expect beautiful offense to be played. It's not going to work.
And Scotty's already better at it than Siakam. So it's like it's tough, man.
Siakam. I understand.
It was this past offseason. They really should have done
without him, but they got to come up off him. And I don't know. They got to finally trade OG too. OG's been in last 5 seasons. Ain't been trading
that John Collins treatment,
bro. You many times I thought the Nets were gonna get OG. I'm already prepared for like, we getting us a defending wing, finally.
I think people like the idea more than they like OG. They're like, OG really good next to us, but he hasn't shown us in Toronto that he can be this good for us.
Man, so Warriors fans was twerking for OG, man.
Yeah, they were.
God almighty.
Like he's got to be in the right team. Like I'll be honest, you put OG on a fully healthy Grizzlies team, perfect. So it's like it's interesting, man. Like Scotty's an interesting one, but I gotta give him his flowers. Like this dude he looks insane. This year he got in the bag. Number 19. Now I'm excited about this one. I'll gladly be the first to admit that it is me who put this man at 15. Franz Wagner. I am a Franz Wagner truther. Okay. I love Franz. P knows this about me. P is also a Franz truther. Where did P have him ranked? I need to know. Probably like 18.
I had him at 19.
Yeah, so we both had him top 20. I love Franz because he's your typical like 6'8" wing. He can score at all three levels. He's a good playmaker. If he was in a better situation, like the talent in Orlando is fine. Him and Paolo are a fine young duo, but I was just talking about this before we started recording. The Magic handle his minutes so poorly. I mean, the dude starts, they bench him after 4 to 5 minutes. They let Paolo play with the starters, and then they make Franz run with the Gary Harris, Joe Ingles unit. And it's just like what is bro supposed to do? All I'm saying
is he's on the floor with those guys.
Like it's ridiculous, bro. It's not fair. Like this man Franz is just one of those guys that honestly, he just doesn't really do a whole lot of wrong. Like there's areas he could improve, but
yeah,
he just doesn't do a whole lot of wrong on the basketball court. I think the best comparison for him, is on this list, and we just talked about him. I think he's basically a better scoring but slightly worse passing Josh Giddey. So it's like, I don't know, man. I've just always been a Franz truther because I just think that guy will contribute to playing winning basketball when it's all said and done. And P, I will now let you chime in.
I would say I'm a big Franz truther. Like I said, like JK said, there's not much he does wrong on the court. He doesn't turn the ball over that much. He's a pretty well rebounder. He's aggressive. He gets to the free throw line, high efficiency free throw shooter. There's just a lot he could be doing. And if he was on a championship contending team, I don't even think he needs to be on a team that lets him fully unleash. If he was on a championship contending team, he would be talked about way more than he is now. Yeah. And he's done so much for the Magic in such short time. He's already averaging 18 points per game. And if his minutes were managed, better, I could see that easily being 23, 22 to 25 easily. Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully the Magic figure that out. But until then, I got to have him at this spot. But I could easily see him surpass this.
The lineup currently on the court with Franz Wagner with a minute left in the third quarter is Franz Wagner, Jonathan Isaac, Mo Wagner, Anthony Black, and Gary Harris.
Yep.
What is bro supposed to do with that?
Oh, Anthony just came in, but still.
Bro. But low-key, though, at the same time, that just goes to show how much trust they have in him and what he can do. So it's just, what I'm saying, JK, we should be proud of our guy.
We should, listen, Franz is.
Listen. Put that man in a Lakers uniform, he'll be talked about way differently.
Oh my god!
No, if Franz,
you don't want him in a Lakers uniform with me. You don't want him in a Lakers
listen.
He'll be talked about so differently.
He'd be a spot up shooter though. So
bro, it ain't even just that. Like, I'll be honest.
He would, Tariq, for sure.
Put Franz in a Golden State uniform.
Miami, we need that.
Miami,
bro. Market. Like Orlando's not a bad market, but it's not New York, LA, Miami.
It's like
let Franz replace Tobias Harris. We're gonna be having a different conversation.
Yeah, that's for sure. My problem with the Magic is they drafted 10 guards in the past 3 drafts, bro.
How do you have Mikal Bridges? You're like, nah, let me get Zaire Smith.
Bro, listen, them taking Jet Howard told me everything I need to know about that organization, bro.
That was actually crazy. Black 5 minutes before that. What are we doing? But
yeah,
hey, they have 17 guards on the list.
I say you already got Suggs there.
They play all of them.
Yeah, they do play all of them.
And Cole Anthony.
All of them. They're like, somebody got to show something.
The funniest part is that Cole Anthony's the only one of their guards that's different.
Yeah.
The rest of them are all the same. Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, and Markelle Fultz are literally all same player, different font.
Yeah, Markelle Fultz for a second. They got a lot of guards.
Man, a hell of a lot of guards.
Yeah. The only thing Anthony Black does different from them is shoot the ball well.
Yeah.
Or central.
Like Jalen Suggs is just a really good defender.
Yeah.
And an okay playmaker and not a good shooter.
Yeah.
And Fultz is the same. Fultz is a good defender, pretty good playmaker, can't shoot the ball. Anthony Black does the other things okay and can shoot the ball really well.
Yeah. It's tough. All right. This is Tariq time. I know he's been waiting on this one. We at number 18. You see the D-Wade jersey behind him. He is one of the presidents of the Heat fan club. So at 18, his guy. This is a double his guy because he's also a Kentucky guy. So Kentucky Heat number 18, Tyler Herro. His highest rank was 15, which I would probably assume was Tariq, and then his lowest rank was 21. But all right, Tariq, please. Right. It might have been.
I had
it
Tyler,
was me.
I had Tyler at 18.
Listen,
I had him right there with Tariq.
I should have put him at 10 because Tyler Herro is a Celtic assassin. But but it's karma for all the white dudes we won chips with. But all right, Tariq, give us the Tyler Herro rundown, man.
I love Tyler's game, man. His game is so smooth. He can do everything that you need to from an offensive player that you're running offense through. I think obviously his playmaking has to get better, and we've been saying that for a few years. But I feel like every time he gets into a rhythm, both shooting the ball and in terms of playmaking, either he gets injured, Bam gets injured, or Jimmy gets injured, and they end up playing with players that shouldn't even be in the league. Just being honest, we got some players on the roster. We've had players on the roster that on other teams they're like, oh, why are they even in the league? Because we somehow made it work. But that doesn't mean that, like, Tyler Herro is not surrounded by players that can do multiple things on the offensive end. He's not surrounded by players that can do more than, like, can do one thing great on the offensive end. Like, we have a bunch of players that you can plug in and they can do some things well. Like, Tyler Herro, if Jimmy's not playing, he has to give us 30. And Bam has to give us 20 to 25. Like, I don't think people understand exactly how important Tyler's role is to the team, and especially since we went to the finals without him last year, I think that hurts him in a way. But I think if people have actually been paying attention, like, okay, like guys like Strus and Duncan Robinson and Gabe Vincent, like, yeah, they had their moments, but you could see it plenty of games where they needed Tyler to be there to take some possessions off of Jimmy. You don't need him to score 25, 30 in the playoffs. You need him to take possessions away from Jimmy. And Bam took some of those. And then it got to a point where when Jimmy got hurt, it was like, all right, Jimmy's not even shooting the ball. This is when you definitely need someone like Tyler to come in and shoot the ball, even if he's missing. Like, there are certain players that bring a level of fear to the team, to an opposing team, and a level of gravity. And this is what we talked about with Sabrina. Like, Sabrina may not give you a ton of points in a game, but they're going to trap her on every pick and roll. They trapped Tyler on pick and rolls in the Boston series, Milwaukee series. They're going to trap him in pick and rolls because they know, okay, outside of Jimmy, it's the only other guy that can create his own shot. If we get Duncan the ball, this this postseason on, because Duncan's got a lot better. But in past seasons and past playoff runs, you can get the ball to Duncan Robinson, and he's going to either take one dribble and pass it, or he's going to launch a three. Same with Strus, same with Vincent, same with any other guards that we've had not named Tyler Herro over the past couple of years, obviously outside of Kyle Lowry. But, like, I just think people will try to either put him too high or they put him too low. I think he's somewhere in the middle of where the people are trying to put him at. And I think people that try to put him way under Tyrese Maxey is crazy because they're damn near the same exact player.
Oh, yeah. They are.
One's black and got dreads, and one is white and is from Wisconsin.
Boy,
there's not a big difference, bro. There's not a big difference. But we haven't seen Tyler in a position where he has to be the go-to guy, because when it has, he doesn't have a Joel Embiid. Like, Bam is really good. Bam is a great player. I love Bam. Bam is probably my favorite center in the league outside of Jokic. But, like, you can't look at Tyrese and be like, oh, well, he does this well. Well, he's played with James Harden. He's played with Tobias Harris. He's played with Embiid. He's played with all these other players. Tyler's played with Jimmy, and Bam. After that, it's no one that you fear on the offensive end, like, at all, not even a little bit.
So I just want to say one thing, and it ain't even long because obviously you covered Tyler Herro as best as anybody could on this whole panel. I just want to say that the reason why I feel like people like value Tyler Herro so low, and you know what I'm saying, obviously people that don't really watch ball, is because of media and his own franchise. He's been in trade rumors for countless years.
Yeah.
Pat
Absolutely.
Riley is saying, I don't want him to start until he starts playing defense. He's been publicly outed, you know what I'm saying? But people that actually watch the Heat know, especially in game 1 in the NBA Finals, if I'm not mistaken, bro, they needed that man so bad, and it's not even funny. So I love Tyler Herro. I love his game. And shout out JK, because JK put me on Tyler Herro like a lot more. Because, you know, when he was at Kentucky, I was like, whatever. Who really cares? You know what I'm saying? So
listen, I will forever remember this. I was on Tyler Herro in high school, first game of the season when they played Duke that year. I can tell you the exact situation. I was with P at Buffalo Wild Wings.
For sure.
He was arguing with me that Mac McClung was better than Tyler Herro.
Oh God.
And I said, Tyler Herro is like going to be a perennial all-star.
Oh.
Now at the time, the Mac
At the
McClung
time,
shit,
it's not crazy.
No, at the time, the Mac McClung shit was.
No, at that time, it was still. Sorry, Mac.
Listen though. The Mac McClung hype around the world was going insane.
At that point in time, it wasn't its peak, but
duh, Bryce. I'm in high school. I can't dunk. I love dunkers. I don't really care about. Listen, Bryce. Let me tell y'all something.
We saw that 5'6" white boy jumping out the gym. Everybody went crazy.
Bro, this is the era where
Life effect. It was the Baller's Life effect.
Exactly,
man.
Bro. You have a nice mixtape on Baller's Life. You don't really care about.
Like I thought 7 Bullets was gonna be the one.
Okay, in 7th grade. That's what his mixtape was hot.
We thought Marcus Levette was gonna be league bound, and that man.
Well, he should have been, brother.
Marcus Levette was.
Hey, that mixtape is crazy too, and he was playing at Jordan 1s.
Nah, that man switched shoes more than Nick Young, and he was in high school.
Bro was playing in Jordan 1s. Who play ball in Jordan 1s and do what he can do?
It don't even make sense.
It's nice. It's nice. Shout out Tyler Herro though, bro.
Jordan 1s, man.
Nah, Tyler's gonna get right. He just needs some time.
Yeah,
he needs some trust, bro. That's really what it is. He needs some trust. Like that's all it is.
Is he our third guy? Is he not our third guy? Like, make up your mind.
He should be.
Well,
our third guy, build around it.
You see, Mans was what? Was he 6th man of the year or was it most improved? 6th man of the year. 6th man of the year that one year. He was an important piece of them in the bubble year. Yes, I know it's a bubble, whatever. I know what y'all want to do. We not going to validate what happened in the bubble. I'm sorry. Basketball was played.
Yeah, we not. We sure as hell not.
You got to put the ball in the basket still. I don't care if it's a crowd there or not. I don't care if it's the AAU tournament or not, empty gym or not. You still have to play. We saw people at their best in that game. Why? Because they were locked in, focus. Like Dame gave. All right, I don't mean to go off subject here, but Dame gave insight about the bubble on back on Fit, and he was like, "Yeah, no, when you're just able to just focus on yourself and focus on your game and just weed out everything, like that's why people were playing their best because all they could do was play basketball. They was on a Disney campus, not riding no damn rides. They in the gym playing basketball. They would see each other afterwards. All right, cool, but we got a game today. All right, next game the next day. And if we're here to play still. It was literally Survivor. Let me stop. All right, I'm going on the tangent. But we can't, I'll say all that to say, we can't validate the bubble. If we can't keep looking over as Tyler Herro, like, that's why I got him rated as high as I did, because he's nice, like, and he's effective. The Heat wouldn't have to rely on Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin last year if they had Tyler Herro. I mean, yeah, those guys came through in big moments and got them there, but you can't rely on that every game from them. They didn't bring that every game. Tyler Herro can bring that every game.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say on Tyler Herro is that I think if the Heat truly want to bring out the best version of Tyler Herro, obviously he needs to get a little better defensively, but that'll come with time. I don't even necessarily know if, like, I would like to see him get better as a playmaker, but if you want to bring the most out of him, maybe try getting an actual point guard that'll run an offense and just allow Tyler Herro to score. Like, not 36-year-old Kyle Lowry. Like,
or Dragic.
Dragic.
He was good.
Like, there's just guys that, like, this wouldn't happen because I don't know if this man would ever dribble a basketball again, but like Lonzo Ball is the perfect point guard to put next to Tyler Herro. Like, that's the type of guy he needs.
It hurts me that Lonzo's hurt, man.
It does hurt.
Oh, it hurts me that Lonzo's
hurt. Don't get mission.
He would have been on this list.
So this is where it gets fun. We're at the end. We're at the 14, 15, 16, 17. This is where you could flip-flop this thing around in a lot of different ways. I'm not even going to say highest and lowest for these because all four of these dudes got votes as high as 12 and 15, and the lowest that these dudes went was like 17. So they're pretty much all viewed in that range. So number 17, Evan Mobley. He's an interesting one. Does anybody want to take Evan Mobley?
I mean, I might as well. I mean, I feel like I've been talking a lot. I'm sorry, fellas, but Mobley, bro, I mean, to keep it a stack, like, he is nice, and the team plays a huge part of that. Him being beside Jared Allen for so long just diminishes everything that he really can do. You know what I'm saying? Because they are the same, one and the same kind of. And all it is for Mobley, bro, just put it together on the offensive end, and you're solid, bro. Your defense is great. He's shown flashes he can. This year, out of the 4 or 5 game sample size, he's shown flashes that he can pass better than I thought he could.
Yeah.
So that's a key beneficiary for him. And it's just, it's just the scoring, bro. It's the same thing as Giddey, kind of. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just be more aggressive. You put the ball in the hoop, and, bro, you could skyrocket. But defense alone makes him so essential to any team that he will be at, that he'll be on. He's very versatile in every area. So that's a little quick team, combination, as Drake would say. A little quick.
No, I'm with that. I mean, I've always said Allen hinders his growth, and it's being shown right now. Their record isn't great, but that's only because Garland's been out.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley's having career highs in every single stat without Allen being there. And I fully believe that if Garland was healthy and it was Mobley, Garland, and Mitchell, they'd be fine. They'd be just fine. I genuinely think if they would just stop and make Mobley the featured big, their success would skyrocket because I don't know. I mean, Bryce, Tariq, do y'all have any Evan Mobley thoughts?
I think his defense obviously is top notch. It's upper echelon, top 5 probably defender in the league. Obviously his offense is the real key to it. And I think even when he got drafted, I think that was the thing that everybody was harping on. We were like, okay, we know like his defense alone would get him drafted in the top 10, but his offense is what's getting him drafted in the top 3. And he got drafted around what? It was Jalen, Cade, Scotty. Is that the draft? If I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Around a lot of second and third in that draft, right?
And then Jalen Suggs went 5. So there were a lot of perimeter players and guards that could run your offense. Like, all right, if you're going with this dude, you're trusting him to do a lot in the post. And I think there was a lot that you saw from him at USC that people are waiting to see in the league. Like, oh, we're waiting to see him be a better shooter. We're waiting to see him be more aggressive. And I think playing with Jared Allen, like y'all mentioned, like has hurt that a little bit because, you don't really have like if you have a stretch 4 and Mobley, then I think things open up for him both on the perimeter and in the post. He's not going to be able to space out. Like if you watch the Knicks series last postseason, like he would be on the 3-point line. They still not guarding him out there. Right. Because they got 2 on Jared Allen. You're like, oh, well, if they're going to throw it over here to Evan Mobley, we still got time to get back over here. If Jared Allen's not on that court, say, I don't know, a stretch 4 is on the wing, you can't help over, and you can't be like, oh, I'm going to just leave Mobley over there but I think if Jared Allen's not on the team and they run the Garland, Mobley, Donovan, Okoro, and whoever, I think the offense opens up a lot more for everybody, not just Mobley. I think the offense, fast break wise, I think they they could run a lot more, and they don't because they have a guy like Jared Allen. And I don't want to say he's slowing him down, but you feel like, okay, we got to
You can
stop.
see the difference.
Yeah, you can see the difference between like when Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland get the ball. It's kind of like Minnesota in a sense. Like,
Oh
obviously,
my God,
Cat can shoot, but you got Gobert out there, so he only can shoot at this. Like, you can't post him up because where's Gobert under the rim? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, Mobley can't get in his bag, as like people like to say in the post, because Jared Allen right there. So what he's supposed to do? Pump fake and throw a oop? Like, he's waiting. Like, who's doing it?
Mobley averages 15, but it's such an ugly 15 like.
It really
he has to force up things, or he's getting a rebound and going straight up like type of thing. But like so far this season, I know Mitchell's missed 2 games and Garland's obviously missed a chunk, but when Mitchell's on the court, that pick and roll looks so, you know what I'm saying, looks so good because Mobley is an underrated aspect. His decision making is really good. Yeah. And I once again, I know we say this about a lot of people, but project like he's an all-star, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's sooner rather than later, but they got to make the right moves first.
They do.
Agreed. All right, now we move to 16, which is the second version of what I said about Scotty Barnes. Look, we didn't know that this was what it was going to look like with James Harden absent. Okay, like Maxey has shown flashes. Maxey is at 16 for us. He's shown the flashes, but like he is the true second option now. And I quite frankly did not think he was ready to take that jump yet. Like just from what I saw last year, like in the playoffs, he did not play good. He got sped up a lot and he made bad decisions. He's one of those guys that I genuinely, I knew he was going to get better, but I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. And that being said, Bryce, how bad do you think we missed on Maxey?
I think 16 is a cool spot for Maxey at the moment, man. I mean, hey, I've been high on Maxey for a little minute now. That boy nice. Oh, first team, that boy nice. That is Tyrese Maxey. He gonna get in his bag. He gonna put the ball in the basket, and has done so a good bit for the Sixers this season. I mean, I had a feeling it would happen like this, being that James Harden was gonna be out. He was gonna have a chance to show who he really is and have that chance to, get the touches that he wants and be effective and have the impact on his team that he wants to have this year. So, I mean, he was a good third option for the Sixers, like reason why the Sixers were dangerous for a couple of seasons was because of his play. And I think he's just going to continue to get better as his career progresses.
Yeah. Tariq, thoughts on the former Kentucky Wildcat?
No.
I think he's been great. I think every year he's gotten better. I think the change every year in his role has kind of hindered his progress a little bit. I think he came in and he had one role. He wasn't sure what his role is because Ben Simmons was still there. And then next year he comes in and like, all right, we need you to be a spark plug. Next year he comes in, James Harden is like, is he in or is he out? He ends up playing the whole season. And now this year it's like, okay, you're probably the second guy, but James Harden is still on the team, so you don't know for sure. So typically, I'm assuming when players go into the offseason, they're working on their game, but they're also working on the role that they're going to play. So if he's going into an offseason thinking, hey, James Harden's going to be the primary ball handler, and then obviously Joel Embiid is an MVP type player, I'm going to go out here and make sure I'm making shots in spots that I'm going to be in. But I think this offseason was one where he was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to just do what I do best, and I'm going to work on my game this summer because whether or not James is here, I'm going to prove my worth. Whether or not they want me or somebody else wants me, because obviously his name was also in trade rumors. They said he was untouchable, but everybody can. That would have been crazy if I finished that. They could say he's untouchable, but if you throw the right package, they would have moved him. And I think a little bit of what he's playing like this season, I think a little bit of it was to prove to either the Sixers or whoever else he would have played for that I'm a guy that you want to have on your team if you want to get to the next step. I think the Sixers were in the middle of like, all right, is Maxey the guy or do we bring somebody else to build around? But Harden just kind of forced that and was like, y'all just got to play with Maxey. But I think this year, like this offseason being kind of jump-started his progress of him feeling like, okay, this year I can really be me. I can really work on my game and not have to work on what role I'll be playing.
Yeah, I also want to give credit to, even if Harden was still there, I do think we see a slight jump in Maxey's numbers just because of Nick Nurse. Having Maxey stand on the wing while you just spam Harden and Embiid pick and rolls for a whole game is not going to be beneficial for his growth. And the Sixers have done what Doc Rivers should have known to do. If you have a guy that's quick and can get downhill fast like that, the number one way to capitalize off that is handoffs. They're second in the league in handoffs now. They were bottom. I think they were 29th in handoffs last year. So Nick Nurse is utilizing him to perfection. He looks fantastic. Yeah, I mean, the Sixers are a lot better than I thought they were going to be a dumpster fire with all the stuff going on, but they're still really good. Number 15, this is probably where I would have switched it just because this guy's only played one game this year. I probably would have had Maxey in this spot. But Darius Garland is 15. Now, I personally don't care that he's played one game. I saw enough from him last year to justify him easily being top 15 on this list. And as Bryce has been saying, you want to talk about a that boy nice player? Darius Garland has one of the smoothest bags I have ever seen. That dude, he's something different. P, I don't know where you ranked Darius Garland, but enlighten us on if you think Darius Garland deserves top 15 or if you think he's a little too high.
I had Garland at 12.
Hey, I asked the right person then.
Yeah, I had Garland at 12. I knew, hoops aside, when that man showed up to draft night with a Komodo on, shit was up. You know what I'm saying? That's an elite draft fit by my man.
Ain't nobody ever do that.
You know, see what I'm saying, bro? Beat up. You see what I'm saying?
But I see what you're saying, P.
Yeah, he had that shit on, and he be having that shit on the court. Obviously, he's a great playmaker. This man he can score. His scoring took a leap last year that really was, it was efficient. It was nice. It was cool. And putting him beside Donovan Mitchell just elevated his game more. And Garland is really a projection kind of guy for me instead of like what we've seen so far. Last year, obviously, we saw a huge glimpse of what he can be, but I think he can be so much more. Him and Halliburton, we ain't got to Halliburton yet, but him and Halliburton, they are the two guys that they could really turn this list around for me. And if Garland just continues to work on his three-point shot, because he did disappear in the playoffs, I'm not going to hold y'all. He wasn't the same guy in the playoffs, but he keep working on his three-point shot, keep improving on defense. I think he's a stud, bro. He's a stud.
I would like to shout out the Magic for proving my point tonight. Off topic, but Franz Wagner with that bench unit extended the Magic's lead from a tied game to a 107 to 101 point win. And with 4 minutes left, he was pulled for Joe Ingles.
Let's say he is not in the game currently. Taylor Horton-Tucker just got a bucket.
So, yes, Joe Ingles is playing crunch time minutes over Franz Wagner. And to make matters even worse, Franz and Paolo are a combined 45 points, 10 assists, 13 rebounds on 16 of 31 shooting right now. So,
just go to the first table and they were not white.
Yeah, that's a perfect representation of this. But yeah, I mean, I like Darius because Darius is a great playmaker, and so he does fit next to Donovan, but he can also go get his. Yeah. Like, he's just a good combo, man. Like 21-7 last year. He's really efficient. I don't know. I mean, I've kind of always been a Garland stan. I loved him at Vanderbilt. Like, he's just had a smooth bag, man. Like when I'm watching you play with a bunch of bums and you're dropping like 20 on Kentucky, I know you're nice. Like I just do. And yeah, and last but not least, the man who we did not get to see hoop last year, but boy, has he been fun to watch hoop this year. That would be number 14, Cade Cunningham.
Sersky.
Listen.
Big Cade.
Listen, Cade is, as Future would say, sensational. He's that guy. I won't even say anything. Y'all three can just go all out on the Cade love.
Man, that boy good.
That boy tough, Bryce. He ain't just good. He tough.
That boy tough, man. Listen, man. That boy Cade, boy. Ooh, talking about smooth with it. Boy smooth. The boy know how to facilitate, know how to play mate with the best of them, man. It hurt me last year when he got hurt. I just hate seeing guys that are nice go down. Like, but playing well this year, they really got something going in Detroit, man. Like I've mentioned earlier this week, that is my league pass team for the season, up there with the whatchamacallit, up there with the Thunder. But Cade tough. Cade gonna be a problem if he ain't already. Him, Asur, Ivy, Duran, they all gonna be a problem under Monty. And he in forefront, man. He doing the damn thing, scoring, assisting, whatever you need, he can do. So, I mean, I think because of that, he's going to really, I don't want to say wake people up, but I think we all know this because of him being at Oklahoma State and him, being the guy night in and night out. He was the consistent number one pick coming out of college. And I think it's just gonna be like, all right, yeah, we knew he had this potential. Now we're gonna finally see that potential this season. We've seen it so far.
Yeah. I would just like to say that the thing that impresses me the most about Cade is that they have done a god-awful job of building a team around him that makes any sense at all, and it does not matter. He's so transcendent that he makes it work. That's what impresses me the most about him.
His frame, bro. Like pause and whatever y'all want to say, however. His frame, bro. He's 6'6", 220, dog. You know what I'm saying? He's 6'6", 220. He gonna make his way to that cup. He gonna facilitate. He gonna rebound. He gonna play some defense. My only knock on him is obviously the turnovers, and I just need him to shoot a little better than he does. But I mean, he really don't have to. He's just one of the dudes that just doesn't have to. And if they build the squad around him a little bit better, it's just going to open the floor up way more for him. And it's going to be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? The Cade coming out party will be here sooner rather than later as well. So, we end that off on Tariq. You know what I'm saying? Tariq. Not Tariq.
I'm thinking of Tariq. I'm
watching football.
You better go receive for 2,000 yards, dog.
He probably could. He the dreadhead.
Might as well. The thing that impresses me most about Cade is his pace. And I think even in college, I think his game, like there are a few players in college that have like a game, like a pro-ready game. Like I know a lot of people say pro-ready or NBA ready. Like I feel like Jason Tatum was one of those guys. Like you could see, like when he got the ball in his spots, like he knew exactly where he wanted to go. I think Cade, and playing on a team like Oklahoma State, like there were no other guys on that team that were going to play in the NBA. But he made sure that they were all in the right spots. He was in his right spots. He was good into where he wanted to do. He's doing the same thing in the NBA. I think his rookie year he did it. I think he played like 6, maybe less than 6 games last year. So we didn't get to really see it last year. But this year we're seeing it again. Like he's picking his spots really well. He's getting players into their right spots, even if it's very clunky because of the lack of spacing. I mean, he's got 4 other players that can't shoot the ball on the team. Like Sarah Thompson, I think, airballed 2 threes tonight, which he's a good player, but he can't shoot the ball at this given moment. And then you got Killian Hayes, who shoots 20% from both sides, like from the floor and from the 3-point line. And then Jalen Duren obviously cannot shoot. And then Isaiah Stewart is probably his second best shooter on the floor. So that tells you all you need to know about the spacing and the kind of fit that's around him and that Monty Williams is having to put out there at the moment. They're missing Bogdanovich right now. I think if he was out there, things would look a little bit better. Just having at least one shooter out there, I think that's why they play somebody like Joe Harris. But for Cade, I just think the sky is the limit for him. I think he can be a really good defender at some point when there's more around him and he doesn't have to do everything. He can be a really good defender. He's got the size, he's got the athleticism, the foot speed, the quickness. And then on offense, I think every year, and I think honestly, game by game, he gets better. I think you can see like him understanding the game more and more as game goes on. And there's not a lot of players that are like that. I think Luka in his rookie year, in his early seasons, you can see like each game that went by, he understood the NBA more and more. And I think at a certain point, I think Shea last year, I think the game got easier for him. He's like, oh, this is like way easier than I thought than it was before. And I think for Cade, as he plays more and more games, because he missed the entire season, I think as he plays more and more, it's going to be like, oh, this is always going to be open. This is always going to be open. And then if this isn't open, that'll be open. And I think that's what a lot of great guards have realized. And I think it's only a matter of time before he realizes the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Like, if the front office is even remotely serviceable, the future should be very, very bright in Detroit. Right. I mean, it really should. Yeah, that's our 14 to 25. We're going to be back next week to hit y'all with the 1 to 13. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, this is the nitty gritty.
Yeah, that's where we get into the Halliburtons, to the Trey Youngs, to the Bam Adebayos. We're getting
Anthony Edwards,
the SGAs.
We can have a conversation about that.
Yeah.
I differ, but we can have a conversation when it's time.
It's gonna be interesting, man. But before we get out of here, the three of y'all, any quick lasting comments, concerns, or anything y'all want to plug before we get on up out of here?
Oh, bet that. Hey, man, go ahead and shout out Hoodie and the Headband. Make sure you go sub to their stuff. Make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They do player of the days, and they're often wrong, but it's okay. It's all right, man. Just make sure you go follow. It wouldn't be a great podcast without me hating, because, you know, that's what I do, and this is what JK does. So shout out to them guys. It's a pleasure to be on here with them boys today.
Likewise, it's a pleasure to be on here with y'all, man. Shout out to Only Haters. Except I don't hate Only Haters. So I love Only Haters. But yeah, no, shout out to y'all, man. Yeah, wasn't able to get no Nets propaganda off in this. I tried my hardest.
Thank God. Oh my God.
I tried my hardest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What did Drake say about Draymond's podcast at the ESPYs a couple years ago? It's a tough listen. Whenever Bryce started talking about the Nets, it's a tough listen.
Burke, honestly, I kind of wish he could have pushed it, because could you imagine the comments that we had like Nick Claxton at 22?
Like, what are we doing,
bro? Listen, I had Nick Claxton at 25 on mine, right? I had Nick Claxton at 25 on mine. I had Cam Thomas on my honorable mentions. Now, probably would have flipped those depending on how the season is going, because Nick Claxton only played a game, I think, or two. But yeah, all in all, though, I think both
only people that would have put him on this list is Gilbert Arenas.
I'll put both of them are going to be on this list next year. I guarantee that.
That's only because half the list aging out.
When we do this next year, Cam Thomas going to be Cam Thomas going to be top 15. Cam Thomas going to be top 15, and then Kosh going to be top 20.
Wemby, Chet, and all of them going to be on the list next year. So no, that's not true.
It's going to be.
Tariq is a damn hater, dog.
But I got the hate for him.
Here's y'all third member of Only Haters. Tariq is a hater.
Gratefully accepted.
Tariq is a damn hater.
Hey, Tariq, if you want to pull up on the pod and hate on the Nets for an hour at any time, you just let me know.
Anything New York, y'all just Giants, Jets, Yankees, everything. Just throw it out there, and I'm gonna line them up.
You ain't never been to New York.
I'm glad I haven't.
I heard the streets filled with rats.
I'm about to say, I ain't trying to deal with them rats and roaches. I'm good on that.
Y'all say that like y'all say
Listen.
I ain't never seen a rat out here. Ever.
You ever see a rat in
Never
Maryland?
seen a rat out here. Never.
I know there's rats in Charlotte. There gotta be. There's rats in
Nah,
every
it's
city.
clean. It's clean streets in Charlotte.
There's rats in every major city. Every city with a downtown got rats. Every city got buildings.
Not
like
mine. Not mine. I ain't seen one in
You know-
South Carolina either, so I don't know what you on.
You ain't beating them allegations,
I'll
Bryce.
see some downtown. I'll see some downtown.
I have.
I'll see some downtown. Going
That
to
man be rat hunting. He be
Yeah,
out
what
there
the-
looking. He be
Word.
out there
Bryce
looking.
is attracted to the rats now. He be
Dude.
rat right
Yo,
now.
man.
I'm
He
not.
feel at home when he see a rat.
No, I don't even do hood rats, man. No.
That boy see 6'9" and be like, "Yes, sir, that's my guy."
What is wrong with you? Man?
Hey, listen. Oh God, but listen, I won't even hate. I've been in New York quite a few times. It is a fun city to visit, but I ain't gonna lie, I could never live there. Never.
It ain't for everybody.
Yeah. It ain't for people that like cleanliness. But on that note, we'll see y'all when we come back next week to do 1 through 13. Hoodie and the haters in the headband. We out.